My wife cheated with her boss and our daughters covered for her. So I served her divorce papers, disowned them, and changed my will. So I guess I'm doing this. Typing all this shit out for strangers on the internet because I have literally nobody else to talk to right now. My life just got nuked, and I can't even process half of what's happened. But maybe writing it out will help or not, whatever. Me and my wife Melanie have been together for almost 30 years. Got together when she was 19 and I was 22. We were broke out back then, living in some shitty apartment that always smelled like the last tenant's cats no matter how much we cleaned. But we were happy, just figuring shit out together, making it work. We started with nothing and built everything ourselves. Had 2 daughters, Olivia, 26 female, and Zoe, 24 female. Olivia was always the smart one, valedictorian, top of her class in college, working some fancy corporate job now. She's engaged to this finance bro named Ethan. Wedding's supposed to be this October. Zoe's more laid back into art and stuff. She's always been a daddy's girl. At least I thought she was. Like any marriage, we had our rough patches. Money was tight when the girls were little. I worked construction, sometimes 2 jobs, while Melanie waited tables and got her degree. We fought about stupid shit, but we always figured it out. That's marriage, right? You stick it out. You don't just bail when things get hard. But lately, I don't know, something felt off. Melanie started acting differently the past few months. Nothing major, just little things, like she suddenly became super protective of her phone. One time I picked it up just to check the time. Mine was charging, and she practically dove across the room to grab it from me. Said something about privacy and boundaries. We've been married 30 years. Since when do we have phone boundaries? Then there's these girls' nights she started doing with Olivia and Zoe. They used to get together maybe once a month, which was cool. I always thought it was great they were close. But it started to be every other week, sometimes more. And when I ask what they did or where they went, I get these vague answers. Just dinner, just catching up. Melanie used to come home and tell me all the gossip and stuff they talked about. About 6 months ago, I came home early from a business trip. The client meeting got canceled, so I caught an earlier flight. When I walked in, Melanie was on the phone, but she hung up crazy fast when she saw me, said it was just Olivia. But when I asked what they were talking about, she got all weird and changed the subject. There was this one time I walked into the kitchen and caught Zoe mid-sentence saying something low to Melanie. I didn't catch all of it. Just something like, "Do you think he knows?" They both turned to look at me, eyes a little wide like I'd startled them. "What are you two whispering about?" I asked, half laughing. Melanie recovered quickly, giving me this casual smile. "Oh, just talking about something for later. Nothing you need to worry about." Zoe chimed in a little too eagerly. "Yeah, it's just a surprise thing. You'll find out soon enough." I raised an eyebrow. "A surprise? For what?" "Just something fun," Melanie said, brushing past me to grab something from the fridge. "You'll see. I figured if they were planning for my birthday because it was around the corner. And then there was that other night when Melanie told me she was visiting her sister in Columbus for the weekend. No big deal. I didn't think twice about it. A few days later, I was talking to Olivia on the phone, just catching up, when she casually mentioned how her mom had gotten a nice tan. I frowned. A tan? In Ohio? In February? There was the tiniest pause, barely noticeable, but something about it made me feel like I'd said the wrong thing. Then Olivia laughed a little. "Oh yeah, we went to a tanning place together before she left. It was kind of a random thing. It didn't seem like a big deal, so I just shrugged it off. But then I started noticing how Melanie's been dressing differently, buying new clothes, wearing makeup more often, started going to the gym 3 times a week. Good for her, I guess, but it seemed to come out of nowhere. Oh, and she bought herself this silver bracelet a few months back, said it was a career milestone reward or something. It looks expensive. When I asked how much it cost, she got defensive, said I never cared about her treating herself before, which isn't true. I've always told her to buy stuff she wants if we can afford it. Through all this, I kept thinking, maybe I'm reading too much into it. Maybe it's just empty nest syndrome or something. Both girls were out of the house now, so it was just us. People change after 30 years, right? That's normal. I didn't want to be that jealous, controlling husband who freaks out when his wife gets a new haircut or spends more time with our kids. That's not me. Never has been. I've always trusted Melanie completely, but there was this nagging feeling I couldn't shake, like something wasn't right, like I was missing something obvious. And then, on a completely ordinary Tuesday, everything fell apart. I was at work managing a construction site, nothing special. Around lunchtime, I checked my email, scrolling through the usual junk when something caught my eye. A message with the subject line, "Your wife is cheating on you." My first thought was, it's just a spam, some scam like those Nigerian prince emails. But something made me open it anyway. The email was short. "Melanie's been screwing her boss Richard for over a year. Everyone at the company knows except you. Thought you deserved to know." And there was a video attached. I sat in my truck for like 20 minutes just staring at my phone. Part of me didn't want to watch it. Like, if I didn't see it, maybe it wasn't real. But eventually, I clicked play. The video was from what looked like a company Christmas party. You could see Melanie in the background sitting close to some guy I recognized as her boss, Richard. They weren't doing anything too crazy, just talking real close. Then the camera moved to this drunk woman I vaguely recognized from when I'd picked Melanie up from work a few times. Oh my God, is that her husband? The drunk woman asked whoever was filming. No, just recording the party. A woman's voice behind the camera said, "But tell me what you were saying about Melanie and Richard." The drunk woman laughed and said, "Everyone knows they've been fucking for like a year. They think they're so sneaky, but come on. Those business trips they take together, the way they disappear during lunch. He even bought her that bracelet she always wears. The fucking bracelet. The silver one, she said, was her career milestone reward." I felt like my whole world crumbled. The camera person's voice came through the speakers. "How's she getting away with it?" The drunk woman laughed, swirling her drink. "Oh, she's got it covered, got her whole routine down. Excuses, little white lies. People think she's working late, out shopping, whatever, but no, she's with him." The video cut off. I sat there staring at my phone, feeling like the air had been sucked out of my truck. I didn't know who sent it, but I had a pretty good guess. Vanessa. She worked with Melanie. Always had tension with her after Melanie got promoted over her last year. This had to be her way of getting back at her. I tried to brush it off, just gossip, drunk talk from someone with a grudge. But the longer I sat there, the more pieces started snapping into place. The girls' nights, the vague answers, the weird phone calls, the bracelet. I couldn't go back to work. My hands were shaking too much. I told my foreman I had a family emergency and just drove. Not home though. I couldn't face that place. I ended up at my buddy Dave's house. He took one look at me and knew something was wrong. I didn't say anything, just pulled out my phone, hit play, and handed it to him. "Holy shit, man," Dave said when the video ended. "What are you gonna do?" I had no clue. All I could think about is that I wanted to confront Melanie right away, but another part of me needed more proof. The video could have just been office gossip from someone with a grudge, right? It wasn't enough. That night, I stayed at Dave's, told Melanie I had an emergency at a job site and wouldn't be home for 2 days. She didn't even hesitate, just said, "Okay, be safe," like nothing was wrong, like she wasn't lying straight to my face. The ease of it made me sick. The next evening, she texted me saying she was having her usual dinner with the girls. "Just a little midweek catch-up," she said, grabbing her coat. "Don't wait up." I told her to have fun and got out from Dave's apartment. I drove across town and parked outside the restaurant where Olivia and Zoe usually met her. I sat there for 20 minutes expecting to see her walk in, but she never did. Then through the window I spotted Olivia and Zoe at their usual table. "No, Melanie." I gripped my phone and texted Olivia, "Hey, just wondering, did Mom make it to dinner yet?" A few seconds later, my phone buzzed. "Yeah, she's here. Why?" I stared at the message, my stomach twisting. The truth hit me like a brick to the chest. They were fucking lying. They'd been lying this whole time, covering their mom up, making up stories, looking me in the eye and feeding me bullshit while she was off with him. I clenched my jaw and checked the tracker app on my phone, the one we'd installed on each other's phones ages ago for safety reasons. Her dot wasn't at the restaurant. It was across town at an upscale Italian place. I knew before I even got there what I'd find, but seeing it still felt like a gut punch. Through the window, there she was, sitting next to Richard, so close to him technically on his lap, smiling like she didn't have a care in the world. She leaned closer, resting her head on his shoulder. They weren't even trying to hide it. I almost threw up. I took out my phone and snapped pictures. A lot of them. Then I opened our family group chat. The one with not just Melanie, Olivia, and Zoe, but my parents, my siblings, her siblings, aunts, uncles, cousins, everyone. I attached the photos and typed out one message. "Hope you're enjoying your dinner with the girls, Melanie. Looks like your boss is enjoying it too." I hit send. Immediately, my phone started blowing up. "Olivia? Dad? What are you talking about? Zoe, what's going on, my sister? What the hell is this? My mom, is this some kind of mistake? Melanie's brother, Mel, what is he talking about? My cousin, dude, WTF? My dad, call me." I didn't answer any of them. What was I supposed to say? Just found out my wife of 30 years has been screwing her boss and my daughters have been covering for her. How's your evening going? I spent the rest of the day driving around, trying to figure out what to say. By the time I got home, they were all there sitting in the living room looking worried. "Dad, what's going on?" Olivia asked as soon as I walked in. "We've been freaking out." I didn't say anything at first, just pulled out my phone, opened the pictures I'd taken and handed it to Melanie. Her face went white instantly. "Who sent you these?" she whispered. "I took them today after I got this." Then I played the video. The room went dead silent. Zoe started crying. Olivia just stared at the floor. Melanie kept shaking her head like she could make it all disappear if she tried hard enough. "How long?" I demanded. Melanie wouldn't answer. It was Olivia who spoke up first. Dad, you need to understand. How long? I shouted, making them all jump. 15 months, Melanie admitted, barely audible. And you too? I looked at my daughters. How long have you been covering for your mother? Lying to my face, making me look like a fucking idiot? Zoe was sobbing now. Daddy, I'm so sorry. Mom said it was just temporary, that she was going through something. Shut up, Melanie snapped at her. Just shut up, Zoe. No, let her talk, I said. I want to hear exactly how my family conspired behind my back. I stood there staring at my family who suddenly felt like strangers. Olivia trying to take control of the situation like always, Zoe crying her eyes out, and Melanie looking like she'd seen a ghost. It wasn't like that, Olivia said, her voice all calm and professional, always the composed one. Mom was unhappy. You were so wrapped up in work, always gone on those long projects. Are you seriously blaming me right now? I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I'm not blaming you, she said, but her tone said otherwise. I'm just saying there were reasons. You weren't exactly there for her emotionally. You never wanted to talk about real stuff. You were physically present, but mentally checked out. I stared at my oldest daughter, this stranger defending her mother's affair. So that justifies her fucking her boss? That makes it okay for you to lie to me for over a year? No. But there's no but, I was shouting again. There's no excuse for this. None! Exclamation mark. Melanie finally spoke up. I was going to end it. I was trying to find the right time to what? Come clean or leave me. Which was it? She didn't answer. She didn't have to. You know what kills me? I said, looking at all three of them. It's not even the affair. I mean, that's fucked up. Don't get me wrong. But it's the lying, the conspiracy. The three of you sitting around the dinner table with me, laughing, acting normal, all while knowing this huge secret. Do you have any idea how stupid that makes me feel? We didn't want to hurt you, Zoe whispered, still crying. Well, congratulations. You failed spectacularly at that, I snapped. The hurt in her eyes made me feel a twinge of guilt, but I was too angry to care. So what now? Olivia asked. Always practical, already thinking about next steps while I was still trying to process the bomb that just went off in my life. Now I want all of you out of this house, I said quietly. I can't even look at any of you right now. Dad, please, Zoe begged. Let's talk about this. I know I messed up. I just didn't know what to do. Get out, I shouted. I'm serious, all of you, get out. They left, Melanie and Olivia practically dragging a hysterical Zoe. As the door closed, I collapsed on the couch feeling like someone had ripped my heart out and stomped on it. The house felt so empty, so quiet. I walked around looking at all our family photos. I was fuming, grabbed the nearest photo, us at Olivia's college graduation, and smashed it against the wall. The glass shattered, which felt satisfying for about 2 seconds. Then I just felt worse. I didn't sleep that night, just sat on the couch staring at nothing, trying to make sense of everything. My phone kept buzzing with texts and calls from all three of them, but I ignored it. What was there to say? The next few days were a blur. I took time off work, told my boss it was a family emergency. Technically not a lie. I barely left the couch, didn't really eat, didn't shower. Just sat there replaying every moment of the last year, looking for signs I missed. Dave came by to check on me, brought food I didn't eat. He wanted me to go stay with him. Said it wasn't good for me to be alone in the house with all the memories, but I couldn't move, couldn't do anything. My phone kept blowing up. Melanie's messages went from apologetic, I'm so sorry, please let me explain, to angry, you're being childish, we need to talk like adults, to manipulative, I'm worried about you, please just let me know you're okay. I ignored them all. Melanie was nothing to me now. After everything I gave to this marriage, after 30 years of sacrifice, hard work, and loyalty, she threw it all away for some cheap affair. Fine, that was her choice. She could enjoy her boss. I didn't care. But Olivia and Zoe, that was the real knife to the gut, my own daughters. The kids I raised, protected, provided for, they had been part of this. They had known, and worse, they had helped her, lied for her, covered for her, looked me in the eye, sat across from me at the dinner table, and acted like nothing was wrong. That betrayal was something I couldn't shake. Olivia sent one text. What you're doing is unfair to everyone. When you're ready to have a mature conversation about this, let me know. Entitled as always, acting like I was the one who fucked up. I wanted to throw my phone against the wall. Zoe was different. She called constantly, left tearful voicemails. Daddy, please talk to me. I know I messed up so bad. I was just trying to keep the family together. Mom said if I told you, you'd leave and everything would fall apart. I'm so sorry. Please don't hate me. Her messages were the hardest to ignore. She'd always been my little girl. The one who'd bring me dandelions and call them flowers. The one who'd fall asleep on my chest watching cartoons. But now all I could see was her lying to my face, helping Melanie sneak around behind my back. After a week of this, Dave finally convinced me to get my shit together. He was right. I couldn't just sit there feeling sorry for myself. I needed to take action. So I called a lawyer that Dave recommended. With the evidence you have, you're in a good position, the lawyer told me after I showed him the video and pictures. But you need to be smart about this. Don't leave the house. That can be seen as abandonment. Don't empty the bank accounts, but do move half the money to a separate account she can't access, and document everything. I followed his advice, stayed in the house, moved money, changed the locks, started documenting every interaction. Melanie showed up one day with Olivia, demanding to be let in to get her things. I recorded the whole thing on my phone, standing in the doorway while they called me every name in the book. You can get your stuff when my lawyer says you can, I told them calmly, which just pissed them off more. I'm getting married in 2 months, Olivia shouted. Are you really going to ruin that because Mom made a mistake? A mistake is forgetting to pay a bill, I said. What your mother did was a choice, a series of choices made every day for 15 months, and what you did was just as bad. I was protecting my family. No, you were protecting your mother's affair. There's a difference. They eventually left, but not before Olivia said, I'm still expecting you to pay for the wedding. You promised. The fucking audacity of this girl. I just closed the door in her face. All I could do after 2 weeks since I discovered that shit is trying to keep it together, going through the motions. Wake up, go to work, come home, stare at walls, try to sleep, repeat. Dave and a couple other buddies keep checking on me, inviting me out for beers or to watch games. But I turned them down most of the time. Just didn't have the energy to be social. Zoe's kept trying to reach out, calling, texting, even showed up at my job site once. I finally agreed to meet her at a coffee shop, not ready to forgive her, but at least willing to listen. She looked like shit. Dark circles under her eyes, hair unwashed, wearing the same hoodie she's had since high school. I'm so sorry, Dad, she said as soon as I sat down. I know that doesn't fix anything, but I am. I should have told you. Why didn't you? I asked. That's the question that keeps me up at night. Mom said she was going through a midlife crisis thing, that she just needed to get it out of her system, and if you found out, you'd never forgive her. She said it would destroy our family, so instead, you destroyed my trust. She flinched like I'd slapped her. I know, it was wrong. But you were always working, Dad, always at job sites, always stressed about money. Mom was lonely, and I'm not saying that makes it okay, she added quickly. What she did was wrong. But maybe if you'd been around more, talked to her more, noticed she was unhappy, and there it was. Even in her apology, she was still blaming me, still making excuses. I worked my ass off to give you and your sister everything, I said quietly, to put you through college, to make sure we had a nice house, nice cars, vacations. If your mother was unhappy, she could have talked to me. She could have suggested counseling. She could have asked for a divorce. Instead, she cheated. And you helped her. I know, she whispered. I'm just trying to explain, not excuse. I wasn't sure I believed that. But looking at her, I couldn't just walk away like I'd planned. She's still my daughter, but I don't know if I'll ever trust her again. I need time, I told her. I don't know if I can ever trust you the way I used to. I understand, she said, wiping away tears. Thank you for meeting me. As I watched her walk away, I was torn between wanting to call her back and wanting to cut her out of my life completely. Meanwhile, the divorce is moving along. Melanie's fighting for half of everything, including my retirement account that I'd started before we even met. She wants the house, alimony, the works, claims she sacrificed her career for our family even though she's been working full-time since Zoe started elementary school. And get this, Olivia's still sending me wedding bills, venue deposits, florist payments, dress alterations, a fucking nerve. I don't respond, but each new demand makes me angrier. One night I got a text from Ethan, Olivia's fiancé, texted me asking to meet for coffee. He wanted to understand what really happened. When we met, he admitted Olivia didn't know he was there. She'd be furious if she found out. She told him that I was overreacting to a brief affair, kicked them all out, and refused to pay for the wedding out of spite. He hadn't fully believed it, noticing Olivia had been acting secretive. I laid it all out, the video, the 15-month affair, how both girls had covered for Melanie. By the end, he looked sick. He had no idea it was this bad. At that point, I was still trying to figure out what to do about Olivia and Zoe. Cutting them off completely felt drastic. But after everything, could I ever trust them again? Rebuilding seemed impossible when I wasn't even sure if they truly regretted what they had done. But one thing was certain, Melanie and I were finished. There was no coming back from that level of betrayal. So I filed for divorce. Work became my escape. I had to keep the money coming in, especially with the divorce set to drain me dry. My crew knew something was up, but they didn't ask questions when I zoned out or needed a minute. They just gave me space, which I appreciated. The divorce turned ugly fast. Melanie's lawyer tried spinning the narrative, painting me as a neglectful workaholic who had pushed her into the affair. My lawyer suggested settling to avoid dragging it out, but I refused. This wasn't about money anymore. It was about principle. Ethan called me again yesterday. Apparently he had a big fight with Olivia after our talk. He started asking questions about the affair, and she flipped out, accused him of taking my side and betraying her trust. The irony is fucking staggering. I'm having serious doubts about the wedding, he told me. If she can lie about something this big, what else is she keeping from me? Smart kid. Cheaters protect cheaters. I told him exactly that. Someone who can justify lying to their father for over a year can justify lying to anyone. Speaking of Olivia, she sent me this long email last week full of psychobabble bullshit about how I need to process my feelings and work through my anger so we can heal as a family. Like, we're all just going to hold hands and sing Kumbaya after what they did. She even had the balls to include more wedding expense forms I needed to sign. Zoe's been different. After our coffee shop talk, she's backed off a bit, sends me texts every few days. Nothing pushy, just checking in. Hope you're doing okay, thinking about you, love you, Dad. I don't usually respond, but I don't block her either. Don't know why. Maybe some part of me isn't ready to completely let go. Dave's been a rock through all this. Last weekend he convinced me to go fishing with him and some buddies. It was the first time in weeks I went hours without thinking about the shitstorm my life's become. Then my lawyer called with some interesting news. Apparently Melanie's trying to sell off some of our joint assets before the divorce is finalized. She accidentally mentioned to a mutual friend that she and her boss are planning a big trip to Europe once all this unpleasantness is over. Fucking unbelievable. Hector got an emergency injunction to freeze everything. One small victory. I still didn't know what to do about Olivia and Zoe. I loved them. But every time I started to soften, I remembered the lies, the fake girls' nights, the way they covered for Melanie, warning her when I asked questions. They didn't just know. They actively helped her. For 15 months, they chose her affair over my right to the truth. Olivia's wedding was coming up, and somehow she still expected me to walk her down the aisle. She even sent a guilt-tripping text about how my issues with Melanie shouldn't affect her special day. Like, that was what mattered, not the family she helped destroy. I didn't respond. Anything I'd say would end with me telling her exactly where to go. I thought about just leaving, selling the house, moving somewhere new, starting fresh. But that felt like letting them win, like I was the one who did something wrong. And just when I thought this shit show couldn't get any worse, life decided to throw another curveball my way. I was meeting with my lawyer about the divorce when he mentioned checking social media for anything that might help our case. I'm not on that stuff, I told him. Well, Melanie is, he said, turning his laptop toward me. And you might want to see this. It was Melanie's Facebook page. There was a post from a few days ago, a photo of her, Richard, and Olivia at some fancy restaurant. The caption read, "So blessed to be surrounded by love as we blend our families. Richard has officially proposed wedding planning for us after we help Olivia with hers. Engaged. The divorce wasn't even finalized yet, and they weren't even trying to hide it anymore. And Olivia was right there with them, celebrating the relationship that destroyed our family. In the comments she'd written, "So happy for you guys. Can't wait to have 2 weddings to celebrate." I felt so dumb. Here I was still reeling from the affair, still waking up every morning with that sick feeling, and they were already playing happy families, planning a fucking wedding. There was more. Another post showed Richard helping Olivia with wedding preparations. Apparently, he's paying for the stuff I refuse to cover, playing the hero. And in one photo, Olivia's calling him her bonus dad. Bonus dad. What the actual fuck? That was it. The final straw. In that moment, something inside me just snapped. All the hurt, all the betrayal, all the months of second-guessing myself crystallized into a cold clarity. I want to change my will, I told the lawyer. I want Melanie to get nothing beyond what the law requires, and I want both Olivia and Zoe removed as beneficiaries. Hector looked surprised. Are you sure? That's a big step. I'm sure, I said. They made their choices. Now I'm making mine. When I got home that night, I got a call from Ethan. He was done. Broke things off with Olivia after finding texts between her and Melanie, planning how to manipulate me into paying for the wedding. They had this whole strategy mapped out. How Olivia would guilt-trip me, how they'd use mutual friends to pressure me, the works. You were right about her, he said. I'm sorry, sir. I thought you should know. I thanked him, actually feeling bad for the kid. He dodged a bullet, but it still had to hurt. Later, I got a call from Zoe. She was crying so hard I could barely understand her. Apparently, she'd had a huge fight with Melanie and Olivia after finding out about the engagement and the social media posts. They didn't even tell me, she sobbed. I found out from Facebook like everyone else. And when I asked Mom how she could get engaged when you two aren't even divorced yet, she said I needed to grow up and get with the program. Olivia took her side, of course, said I was being childish and dramatic. Part of me felt a flicker of hope that maybe Zoe was finally seeing the truth. But then she said, I just don't understand why you can't all try to work this out. Why does everyone have to be so extreme? Mom made a mistake, but I cut her off. 15 months isn't a mistake, Zoe, and neither is lying to my face every day for months. Those are choices. Choices all of you made. I know, she said quickly. I know that. I'm not defending what she did or what I did. I miss how things used to be. Things were never how they used to be, I said. It was all a lie, and I'm done. What do you mean done? She asked, sounding scared. I mean, I'm moving on with my life without any of you. She started crying harder. Dad, please. I know I fucked up. I know that, but I'm trying here. I'm really trying. It's too late, I said. I've already changed my will. You and Olivia are out of it. Dead silence on the other end. Then, you what? You heard me. I met with my lawyer today. Everything goes to my brother now. But Dad, that's not you can't just I can, and I did. You all made your choices. Now I've made mine. She hung up. I expected to feel guilty, but instead I felt lighter, like I'd finally cut loose an anchor that had been dragging me down. The next day, all hell broke loose. Olivia sent a barrage of texts calling me petty, vindictive, cruel. Melanie had her lawyer contact Hector about my retaliatory actions. Even some mutual friends reached out, saying I was being too harsh, that I should think about reconciliation for the sake of the family. Fuck that. Fuck all of that. I slept through the night. No dreams about the way things used to be. No waking up with that sick feeling. Just peaceful, dreamless sleep. At that time I realized that the family I thought I had never existed, it was a mirage. And maybe that's okay. Maybe it's better to live in truth, even a painful truth, than in a comfortable lie. Final update. It's been 5 months since everything went down. I figured I'd give you guys an update. The divorce is final. Melanie didn't get nearly what she wanted, thanks to Hector's badass lawyering and all the evidence I had. She got some cash in her car, but not the house or my retirement. She and Richard got married 2 weeks after our divorce was finalized. Classy. I sold the house. Too many memories, good and bad. Bought a smaller place closer to work in a different neighborhood. It's nothing fancy, but it's mine. No ghosts, no lies. After I changed my will and told Zoe about it, she showed up at my door the next day, crying and begging me to reconsider. Said she'd do anything to make things right. I told her I appreciated it, but my decision was final. When she realized I wasn't budging, something changed in her. She got quiet, then cold. So that's it? She asked. 30 years as a family, and you're just throwing it all away? I didn't throw anything away, I told her. You all did that when you decided to lie to me for over a year, she left. And I haven't heard from her since. Apparently, she's moved in with Melanie and Richard. One big happy family. Olivia got married last month to some doctor she met right after Ethan left her. They didn't invite me. I didn't expect them to. I heard from mutual friends that Richard walked her down the aisle. That stung for about a minute. Then I realized I didn't actually care. The thing about cutting toxic people out of your life is that it hurts like hell at first. But then you start to notice how much lighter you feel, how much more energy you have, how much clearer your head is. I've been seeing someone for a couple months now. I'll call her Jess. Met her at a friend's barbecue. She's divorced too, understands the baggage that comes with that. We're taking it slow, but it's good. Really good. She knows my whole story and doesn't judge me for cutting off my daughters. She gets it in a way most people don't. Her ex cheated on her with her sister, so she knows all about family betrayal. Do I miss Olivia and Zoe? Sometimes. Usually, when I see a father with his adult daughters out to dinner or when I hear a song they used to like or on their birthdays. But it's more like missing the idea of them, the daughters I thought I had. The real ones? The ones who lied to my face for months? Nah. Don't miss them at all. A few weeks ago, I ran into Ethan at a sports bar. He's doing well, dating someone new. He told me Olivia had reached out to him recently, saying she'd made a huge mistake and wanted another chance. He turned her down. You taught me something important, he said, about self-respect, about not letting people treat you like you don't matter. That meant a lot hearing that. At least something good came out of this whole mess. Last week I finalized my new will with my lawyer. Most of my stuff goes to my brother and his kids, who've been my rock through all this. I also set up a small scholarship fund at the local community college for students in the construction management program. Figured I might as well help some kids who actually appreciate the opportunity. Jess and I are talking about moving in together next year. Taking it slow, but the direction feels right. She makes me laugh, calls me on my bullshit, and doesn't have a single relative who stabbed me in the back. Major upgrade. Sometimes people ask if I regret my decision to cut Olivia and Zoe off completely. They say things like, but they're your daughters, or family is forever, or some other Hallmark card bullshit. My answer is always the same. Family isn't just about blood. It's about trust, respect, loyalty, things my daughter showed me they don't have. Maybe someday one of them will genuinely realize what they did and apologize without excuses or blame shifting. Maybe pigs will fly too. I'm not holding my breath for either. What I've learned through all this is that you can't control what others do, only how you respond. Melanie chose to cheat. Olivia and Zoe chose to enable and cover for her, and I chose to walk away from all of them. The hardest part wasn't the affair itself, as devastating as that was. It was realizing that my daughters, the people I would have done anything for, could betray me like that, could lie to my face day after day, could help break my heart, and then blame me for not being happy about it. But here's the thing. Once you accept that the people you loved aren't who you thought they were, you can start to build a life that's real, not based on lies or false obligations, but on genuine connections with people who actually give a shit about you. So yeah, I'm doing better than I ever expected to be. This isn't the life I planned, but it's a good one, an honest one, and that's worth more than any family that's built on lies.